Hey guys, it's Alec Torelli. Welcome back to an episode of the Hand of the Day.
Hand of the Day.
I'm bringing you this one, freezing my ass off at the MGM in Maryland. Just played an epic hand of poker at the 5-10 cash game, waiting for the 100-200 cash game. I decided to sit down in 5-10 and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get warmed up, try out some fancy plays, and test the waters. So I sit down, I get dealt pocket deuces in late position, and I'm like, let's do it. Decide to make it $30, and the button calls and the small blind calls. Now we're all about 2K, I have 2,500, the other two players are 2K deep, so we're really deep stacked, 200 big blinds deep. Tough spot already for pocket deuces, just because if you flop a set and you're really deep, you still gotta worry about someone having a bigger set. Anyway, we go three ways to the flop. Comes 6-3 deuce, rainbow. Small blind checks. I decide to mix it up here and check. And this is a play I don't always do, but again, I want to decide to mix it up in this 5-10 game and just try plays that I don't always do, see how things go, and try to find creative lines that I can use to win more money long term. I highly encourage everyone to do this, especially when you're playing a game that's smaller than your normal game. You can afford to do things that are different. Not that checking is bad. In fact, I think from a game theory standpoint, you're supposed to check here some of the time, but it's important to just have the mindset that you're trying to make creative plays to find what works and what doesn't. Anyway, I decided to check here, and my reasoning is that a lot of this time I check the flop, I'm gonna have air. This gives a lot of incentive for the button to bet with whatever he has, because it looks like I'm gonna check fold, and all he really has to worry about is the small blind. So I decided to check here, repping air, and the button unfortunately checks behind. So I was really hoping the button bets, maybe the small blind calls, I could either overcall or check raise, do something fancy, but unfortunately the flop gets checked around. Turn comes an ace of spades, bringing two spades. The small blind checks again. I bet 85 into 100, and the button now calls. The small blind check raises to 325, and here I have a tough predicament. Of course I'm never gonna fold, but the question is my hand strong enough to 3-bet the turn and justify getting the money in, or is it better that I just call? Now this is a spot that I cover in a lot more detail on my website, consciouspoker.com, where if you enter your name and email for free, I'll send you my hand range system. And this is the process I use to hand read in complicated spots like this, so you can be confident you're making the right decision against any opponent, no matter which hand you're playing in whatever situation. But here's what you need to know for now. Basically what I'm trying to do in a spot like this is count the combos of strong hands my opponent could have, and then weigh that against the combination of bluffs or hands he could have for worse value. In this spot, I determined there are 10 combinations of hands that beat me, 4-5 first straight, there's 4 combos of that, and there's 3 combos of each of the sets. He can't have a set of aces because he would have 3-bet pre-flop, but he definitely could have 3 threes or 3 sixes. Then I have to weigh that against the combos of hands that I beat. In other words, what are his 2-pair combos, like ace-6 suited or ace-3 suited or ace-deuce suited? Remember, those could only be suited, so I have to count those combos as well, and I come up with 6. And then I weigh that against his bluffs and try and find the best line. Trying to keep this concise, I basically determined there are more value bets than there are more hands he has that beat me than hands that I beat, but at the same time, my hand is just too strong to fold because I still beat his bluffs and I beat some of his value. So to keep it concise, I end up just calling the turn, also hoping to win money from the button, who might either call with a draw or call with a worse ace or a worse 2-pair. I call the turn, the button calls, and we go 3 ways to the river. River comes an offsuit queen, which is a great card for me because, of course, the flush doesn't get there, the straight doesn't get there. So if I did have the best hand on the turn, it's 100% that I still have the best hand on the river. The queen didn't help anyone. The small blind now bets 850, and here I really want to fold. I got a live read that he had a strong hand for value, so now I eliminate his bluffs, and that basically leaves me with 10 hands that beat me and 6 hands that I beat. Given my pot odds and given the fact that the button might overcall with a worse hand, I really can't fold, even though I'm sort of leaning towards him having a really strong hand. Just the fact that I played my hand so slow and my hand looks like a lot worse hand than it is makes me think he's gonna confidently value bet worse hands here. So it's a really tough spot for me, and I put myself in a tough spot by checking the flop. I really wanted to make a big hero fold. I just couldn't find it, and I opted to call. The button now overcalls as well, which is amazing because his hand is pretty much dead. He's never gonna have me beat. And then unfortunately, the small blind turns over 4 or 5 of hearts, so I get smashed. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys would do in this hand. Highly recommend, if you want more info from me and you like the way I analyze these hands, you check out the link below, enter your name and email, I'll send you over my hand reading system absolutely free. I think you guys are gonna love it. Share this video if you like it, subscribe to my channel because I'm freezing my ass off, and I love you guys. I'm going back inside. Much love. I'll see you guys for the next time on the Hand of the Day.